So the video provides you the answers of DeepSeek CEO, Mr. Liang himself. Thank you very much.
I am ready to answer all your questions. Here are my answers for your listed questions. The release of DeepSeek V2 quickly triggered a vicious global AI large market price war. Many people say that you guys are the game changer, market disruptor. You ask me whether I agree or not. I can say that it was not our original intention to become a game changer or market disruptor. It was by accident. Okay, were you guys surprised by this? We're extremely surprised by the market's response. I never thought people were so sensitive to the price we set. We're just following our own pace. We calculate our own cost overheads and set the price. You see, our principle is not to lose money, but also avoid overcharging our customers. The price we set is slightly above our cost and we're satisfied with our margin. Other companies think you guys are trying to steal their customers by offering such a low price. You ask me, what do I say to that? Right? I say that grabbing customers are not our priority. We lower our price because through our research we are able to find ways to lower our costs. Another reason is because we think AI or AGI should be a technology that is affordable to everyone. Before this, most companies in China usually just copy the current generation Llama model to build application on top of it. Why would you guys spend time building your own large model? If our goal is just to build an application, then using the Llama model will be more logical. But our goal is AGI. This means that we need to explore new model structures. We want to push the strength of our model with the limited resources we have. So we consider this process to be basic research needed in order to scale up to larger models. And in order to make the model more advanced, more human-like, we also spend time developing data structures. So you can see all these advancements in our models today. Also, Llama's training efficiency and cost are already 2 generations behind the market's existing leaders in the US. You ask me, how big is this difference in generation? Right? Well, the training efficiency is lower. I think it requires double the computing power from the best model in China in order to match the best one outside of China. And data efficiency is also only half. So I would say probably it requires 4 times the resources in China to match the best one in the world right now, which is in the US. Our goal is to keep narrowing that gap. Most Chinese companies building models also go for applications. Why do you guys only explore models? I think the most important thing for us is to innovate. For many years, Chinese companies just borrow ideas from others and aim for a quick market entry. This is not sustainable. Our goal was never to make some quick bucks. We want to be the market leader in technology to help drive the entire ecosystem forward. People usually think that the Americans are better at technology innovations. Chinese are good at building apps. We'll see, you'll take. I think we are at a point that we should also contribute to global innovation, not just be a free rider all the time. In the last 30 years of IT development worldwide, China basically didn't participate in any real technological innovations. We're just too used to wait for someone else to come out with better hardware, better software. Same goes with AI scaling law. We expect these new innovations to be like magic falling from the sky, coming out of nowhere. In reality, these are the result of research and development by technological innovators currently dominated by Western countries. A relentless efforts in pushing the boundary of what is possible. We never participated in this kind of innovation. So people are not familiar with the process. I will say China is not 1 or 2 years behind. It's the difference between original innovation versus imitated innovations. You ask me why I think DeepSeek V2 shot so many people in Silicon Valley? Right? I think this is an ordinary innovation among the many innovations that occur in the United States every day. I think they are surprised because it is a Chinese company making the contribution this time. Like I said, Chinese companies are known to be followers, not innovating leaders in this sector. Still, large language models are an expensive investment, luxury most companies cannot afford. The price of innovation here is very high. From my understanding, most companies prefer faster market entry. What do you say to that? Definitely, the cost of innovation is higher, and this tendency to just follow has become somewhat of a specialty here in China. But look at it this way. Look at the size of the Chinese economy today. Also, the profit from these giant tech companies like ByteDance or Tungsten, what they generate annually, is substantial even by global standard. So what we are lacking is certainly not funding. It's the lack of self-confidence and the lack of experience in putting together talents to achieve these innovations. Why do you think Chinese companies, including those large companies with substantial funding? You ask me why won't they prioritize in innovation? Right? Well, in the last 3 decades, we Chinese prioritize in getting wealthy quick. We ignore real innovation. Innovation is not purely market-driven. It also requires curiosity, and I would say a creative-driven additive. I think Chinese people are just too used to be followed. It subconsciously limits our imagination. But I think it's only temporary, it's due to change. After all, you guys are a full-profit enterprise, not non-profit research institute. You guys decide to go down the path of innovation, then decide to share this new product through open source. You ask me how and where do I plan to place barriers on your products? Won't this new innovation easily mimicked by others? Right. I think for this kind of breakthrough advancement, the time you can buy from protectionism is limited. Even companies like OpenAI chose to become closed source. It cannot avoid being caught up to and eventually surpass. That's why we choose to value our team. Through this project, our colleagues get to learn how to work together efficiently, gather know-hows, forming the innovative organization and culture. These will eventually become our advantage, our barriers, let's say. I don't think we lose much by adapting open source. Writing research papers for our engineers, being followed by others is actually a great achievement on its own. Being open source is a display of attitude. It's not profit-driven, no. We wear this achievement as a badge of honor. We believe this will attract more talents. Well, being the sector leader in large language model is hardly an absolute advantage. Are you guys gambling for something bigger? What we see is that China cannot be a follower in the AI sector forever. The common knowledge is that China's AI sector is 1 to 2 years behind that of the United States. But from my perspective, the real difference is original innovation versus, let's say, reverse engineering. If we cannot change this mentality as a follower, we will always be the one who's playing catch-up. So we can't really avoid exploring our path forward, our own path forward, that is. NVIDIA's market-leading position is not only the result of NVIDIA itself, but the result of combined strength of the entire Western R&D community. They can see where the future lies, where the industry is heading. China's AI sector also needs this kind of an ecosystem. Many Chinese chip companies are falling behind and not taking off because of the lack of technological community support. This kind of innovation ecosystem that we do not have, what we receive are always second-hand information. That's why China really needs people like us to position at the frontier of technology. This is not simply more investment, but how companies position itself in the market. You guys carried this kind of idealistic attitude, just like OpenAI genius early days. You ask me, will I choose to become closed source like them as well in the future? Right? I know that both OpenAI and Mistral were open source in their early phase. Now they're both closed. No, we will not. We believe the most important thing is to build a strong technological ecosystem. So we will not become closed source. You ask me whether I am seeking more rounds of investment. Right? There are news floating out there that your investors might have planned to take DeepSeek public. Most new tech companies in Silicon Valley also cannot avoid joining with the tech giants. In the short term, we are not looking for new investors. The problem we face, we're never funding, but the high-end AI chips that is not available to us due to sanctions. Many argue that AGI development requires visibility and many partners. Unlike some of the other projects where you can just do it by yourself, this will drive up costs quickly. What's your plan to handle those extra costs? Larger investment doesn't always lead to more innovation, or else large companies would have monopoly on the innovations. You ask me whether I am skipping the application market because of the lack of operation experience or something else. I think AI is at a stage where there will be many technological breakthrough. I think the real era for AI application has not yet arrived. In the long run, we aim to create an ecosystem. I want Deep to focus on advancing large language model AI. Stay in the market leading position while our partners build applications and values using our models. This include partners using our models for to B or to C business. If we can successfully create the ecosystem, then there's no need for us to develop our own applications. Of course, we will not shy away from our business, but research and innovate in LLM will always be our top priority. Why would people choose DeepSeek for API instead of, let's say, those tech giants in the long run? World probably consists of companies specialized in unique sectors. LLM require continuous innovation, and this might not fit the priority or culture of larger companies such as those big tech companies. Larger companies have their own limits. But you ask me whether DeepSeek can pull ahead and maintain the advantage with technological innovation alone. As you said, the technology secret isn't a strong enough barrier. Yes, but technology development requires time and resources. NVIDIA graphic cars, theoretically speaking, has no secrets. It is easy to duplicate, but to organize a team and chase after new generation technology needs time. So the real barrier is wider than most people anticipate. DeepSeek's new price was followed immediately by BitDown's price adjustment. It means that these larger tech companies are feeling threatened. You ask me, how do I see the competition between startup innovative companies such as yourself in relation to larger market-leading companies and tech giants? To be honest, we don't really care about this. It's like a sign up to us. Providing this kind of cloud service is not our primary objective. Our primary objective remains in advancement of AGI. I don't see any major breakthrough on the horizon, but I also don't see any major advantage of those larger companies. Yes, larger companies have existing users, but their business model and their revenue are also their burden. It will make them a target vulnerable to be surpassed. Regarding the other 6 LOM startup companies in China. So what will be the end game looks like? Maybe 2 to 3 companies will survive. Currently we are all burning through investment. So those companies with a clear vision and focused strategy will more likely to survive till the end. Other companies might branch out and transform into other business sectors. As long as they can create value, they can exist in one form or another. You ask me what's my core philosophy when it comes to competition? My philosophy is whether a product can help society to operate at a higher efficiency and whether you can find your position in the entire supply chain. As long as they drive up efficiency, it has value. What happened during the process is often temporary, just a distraction. OpenAI's ex-policy director, Jack Clark, believes that DeepSeek hired some incredible genius to work on his model. Can you tell me what kind of people DeepSeek hired to work on his project? There's no top super genius, just fresh graduates from top universities, PhD students and young talents with a few years of experience under that belt. Now, most companies in China insist on finding talents abroad. They believe the top 50 talents in these sectors are likely not in China to begin with. You ask me another question: where did DeepSeek find so many talents to work together with? DeepSeek VT was built entirely by domestic talents. Maybe the top 50 talents you set are not in China, yes, but we can cultivate our own talents. You ask me, how did this current breakthrough come from? You ask me also whether it was from a young engineer's own curiosity or not. After studying the patterns of mainstream tension architecture development and breakthroughs, this young engineer had a sudden inspiration to design an alternative architecture. However, turning this idea into a functional program took us a while. We formed a separate team to do this project. Took us a few months to make the breakthrough. And there's a difference between innovation that's from big type giants compared to, let's say, smaller stock-up companies. I think whether it is Google AI Lab or OpenAI or AI Labs here in US, they are all valuable. I think breakthrough from OpenAI is partly due to chance. So innovation is chance-based, and there was this retractable door between your meeting rooms. Your colleagues told me that these doors keep opportunities and chance possible. I think to innovate is to believe. I think innovation in Silicon Valley is driven by a lot of courage. When ChatGPT came out, Chinese innovators were depressed. Whether it is investor or tech giants, all think that the gap is just too big to catch up to. That the best strategy is just committed in making applications. You know, innovations require self-confidence, self-belief. Usually these characteristics are more pronounced in younger people. You guys are not active in seeking new investment, really promote your company. So there's a lack of visibility. You ask me, how would talents find in me and my fellow researchers? How do you convince them that DeepSeek is the top choice for AI structure engineers? Well, because we're doing the most difficult task, that's why. The brightest talent are often attracted to the most difficult task, to solve the most difficult questions in the world. I think in China, the brightest talents are often undervalued. This is because there's a general lack of core innovation in China. And it's difficult for these brightest individuals to reveal themselves. We're working on the most difficult projects. They will automatically attract all those best talents to us. OpenAI's recent release didn't announce ChatGPT's 5. Many believe this is a sign that the development curve is slowing down, doubting, the scaling law. What do you think about it? I'm actually quite positive. The entire industry is within our expectation. OpenAI is not God. It's unrealistic for them to be always leading the charge. You also asked me another question: how long do I imagine it will take to achieve true AGI? Okay, maybe 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it should be within our lifetime. Regarding roadmap, there's really no clear agreement even within our own company. We're focusing on 3 directions right now. Mathematics and coding. The second one is multi-models, and also the third one is natural language. Math and coding serve as a natural testing bed for AGI. It's like chess game. It's unclosed and we can always verify it. Maybe this kind of self-learning can achieve high degree of artificial intelligence. The second direction is this kind of multi-model is to engage AI in real-world learning. I think this is vital for AGI as well. We are open to all possibilities anyway. You ask me what's my primary focus at this moment? My main focus is on the development of the next generation AI model. Okay, last few question. The global economy is heading for downturn. Capital investments are slowing down. Will that impact innovative projects, this kind of original core innovation that you'll refer to? Not exactly. The Chinese economy is undergoing a structural transformation. Future growth will rely more on core innovation. When Chinese people realize that the era of market quick money grabbing is over, it will be more willing to participate in true innovation. You ask me whether I am quite positive. I was born in the 1980s and grew up in a Tier 5 city in Guangdong province. My father was an elementary school teacher. Back in the days, there's many opportunity in making good money here. Parents back in the days come to our home and tell us that it is useless to go to school. Now, however, their perspective has changed because it is no longer too easy to generate wealth. The taxi drivers are about to lose their jobs to AI. In just one generation, the world has changed a lot. Core innovation in the future will become mainstream. Maybe today, this concept is still not well understood because the society need to undergo transformation, some kind of re-education to adapt to the new reality. When people start to see more innovators become more successful and generate wealth through it, their mentality will change, and we just need more successful cases to prove to the Chinese people that this is the right path forward. Okay, these are all my answers.